Hello, world, and welcome to another episode of Critical Hit, a podcast, a foul-mouth podcast where we talk about everything. I am your host, Red King, and with me always is Crimson and Chrono Wars.
I got the fucking jitters. Sorry, my ghost energy's kicking in and it's weird.
Is that what we're calling cocaine these days?
Yeah.
Tonight, we are talking about the end of the world, the apocalypse.
As we know it.
I didn't want to do that, but it's the end of the world as we know it.
Yeah.
And we are Critical Hit. And the apocalypse starts now.
So there's an Apocalypse Now reference to be had in our intro, just so you know.
We don't debase ourselves with such lowly references to that terrible movie.
Yeah, fair enough. It wasn't the greatest.
Before we begin, I'm playing a little bit of meta fucking mind games, so we're just gonna do that. I know what you're thinking. It's Friday. Why am I listening to another episode of Critical Hit? Because we've changed our schedule. And we will be releasing episodes on Fridays instead of Thursdays. So our scheduling, that weird jet lag, daylight saving syndrome thing that fucks us up and makes us really fucked up and groggy is your advantage. You get 2 episodes this week.
We like to overwork ourselves so you can listen to this fine podcast.
And so that's the first thing. The second thing is we're doing another episode, another segment of Chrono's Tech Talk. Chrono, take it away.
So, the past couple tech talks have been robots, AIs. We're going a little bit more fundamental for this one.
Space, right?
Vaguely. Frustration in quantum physics leads to new state of matter being discovered.
What?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So obviously there's like the go-to, the gang, if you will, like gas and air. What?
Air is a gas.
Water,
Ass.
and solid stuff.
Yes. So technically, even what we're taught in school is wrong. There's 4 base units of matter if you really wanted to get into it, because the 4th one is plasma.
Huh.
This is the chiral Bose liquid state.
Wait. What's it? One more time.
The chiral Bose liquid state.
Why the fuck does that sound like a Jedi?
Except I don't want to interact with chiral Bose liquid. That seems an awful lot like something you'd encounter on the hub.
Oh, dang it, my reference.
Well, it's about to get worse because this state of matter was discovered through the exploration of kinetic frustration in quantum systems. They were blue balling physics. And basically, it exhibits robust properties such as unchangeable electron spin and long-range entanglement.
It's thick and viscous. I'm sorry.
And travels long distances.
That's right.
Pow!
Quantum entangled cum. QEC.
That is really fucked up.
That's now the layman's description for that.
No.
Okay. So, what's the skinny behind this matter? What?
So essentially, all it is that you have to use high magnetic fields to observe it, and it's more about just experimenting on the fabric of reality to see what we can fuck with.
So why are we fucking with reality on such a fundamental level is my question.
That's the study of physics.
And it's the study of we're going to fuck with something so bad one day that it's just going to be like, we're going to fuck up the universe.
Now you know why I picked this one for this episode.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
That was a fabulous transition.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That was beautiful. But I think that's kind of the thing. Like nothing else on this planet could actually observe the deep, like, building blocks shit like we can.
Yeah. That's like to think of, like, because people have such an understanding of like what our world is made out of. And like, I think about it because I'm not the smartest motherfucker out there. Shit, I'm not even close. But, I think about it and I'm like, man, there's people who sit there and study this and can like fundamentally understand things that make up everything. I'm like, how do you manage that?
I'm going to argue. It's not understanding it. It's just having the courage to make weird stuff happen.
You discovered a new form of matter. I feel like for you to discover a new form of matter, you have to understand something.
You also got to be not scared of a potential horrible thing to happen by trying to discover a new form of matter.
Yeah.
Well, to transition fully into our episode topic, the link for this article will be on our Twitter as well.
Yes.
But so when they were testing the nuclear bomb, there was a theory that it could rip away the Earth's atmosphere, and they still decided to hit the button.
That's a lot. That's a lot. You want to know what? And right, that's pretty profound because there's a lot of amazing discoveries that have happened that started with this could destroy everything, and nobody heard about it until after it was done being tested.
Oh yeah.
Like, so how'd you discover this? Oh, we were just sitting there playing with some dangerous, volatile energies, and it could have very much destroyed everything, but it didn't. Like, you're already done? Yeah.
Well, that was the same thing with the Large Hadron Collider when they first fired that up because they wanted to be able to observe that, basically faster than light particle interactions.
Well, they're also trying to, because the theory is that space is infinite and microspace, if you want to refer to the quantum realm as that, is also infinite.
Right.
So they smash particles into each other to see what's inside. That's how we discovered the quark.
The smallest form of
well, that's what's inside, like protons and electrons.
Right. But that was the whole thing, is they said, oh, well, how are we going to let just a small community of people decide whether or not we're going to turn this machine on? It could create a black hole that would swallow the entire planet.
Because why not?
So, the funny part is a black hole that would have the density of Earth is the size of a little stud earring.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. That's fucking terrifying.
They haven't actually confirmed the existence of such micro black holes because they would be almost impossible to see.
Listen.
But they're theorized to exist.
I certainly hope not. Like, you're just walking around one day and like nothing, you don't see anything chaotic happening. You're just strolling about and suddenly just and you're just gone.
Spaghetti singularity. Well, there's also the fact of just like one of the other things is shit, I forgot where I was going. Move on.
Did you say spaghetti singularity?
I did. Because basically you get stretched into one thing and then sucked into the hole.
The spaghettification, correctly?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the actual term.
So now the thing is, we're going to open an Italian restaurant.
Call it spaghettification. So we will...
Only the freshest corn.
My gosh. That'll be all for Chrono's Tech Talk. We will start up some more horrible, nightmare-inducing scientifical speaks at a later date.
Yes, like the robot that can fold itself in half.
Spoiler alert!
So now we're here at the beginning of the end.
It's the beginning of the end, and I
Shut
don't know
up.
when.
Shut up. That song sucks. Is that Taproot?
Yeah.
So I have 5 apocalypses to talk about. Humanity's, life on Earth, Earth itself, the Sol system, our solar system, and the universe.
Jesus. So I had more of a theoretical apocalypse to talk about, but that's going to be kind of interesting to see what you got here.
So let's pummel into it with I came to the table with stuff that has passed and is not actually apocalypses.
Fair enough.
Okay, well, since you're digging into the past, start.
Y2K. We're old friends. Because we can't use the actual term for people who have been around for a very long time.
Yeah.
Old fucks.
You don't browse enough of the gross part of the internet. Anyways, so Y2K, right? It was kind of the first one that I remember, because every generation has it where they say, oh my gosh, everything's going to end this way or that way.
You realize that technically we've lived through 3 supposed end of the worlds, right?
I was getting to it. I'm just going for the one farthest back that I could actually remember.
I remember also being, didn't we think that shit was actually going to happen? Like, our family thought that shit was going to happen.
Well, there was nothing that... First of all, I don't know what we were worried about.
Because we didn't have a computer.
We didn't have any computers. I didn't fire up my first computer until like I was 12.
Yeah.
So, you know what's funny though is my family did have a computer. All my dad did was unplug it overnight and was just like, okay, something does go wrong, I can't do anything.
So
Smart.
the whole idea, right, is because computers that were manufactured in the 70s and whatever.
Well, the oldest computers do go back to like the 50s.
Right.
The ENIACs and all that shit.
So like
The annex.
they had clocks that didn't go past the year 2000, right? That was the scare.
Yeah.
Was that somehow, without a way to keep that time, that I guess things were just gonna stall out.
Stock market was going to crash.
Yeah, like planes would fall out of the sky, and there was kind of this big thing, and that was going to be my next point, was like the prepping of it all happening.
Yeah.
Where a common thread I've noticed in at least the apocalypse, as far as like our generation going forward, has been toilet paper. Because whenever something bad is about to happen, toilet paper spikes.
Yeah.
Y2K was lousy with fucking toilet paper. You know, people buying canned foods and crap like that. There was
I gotta make sure I shit in comfort.
I gotta make sure I got that clean butthole when things just go bad.
Like,
Hey, if you're getting taken, you want it to be clean.
oh
boy.
my, yeah, fair enough.
No,
In
dude,
and out.
I just shit
Burger.
myself.
Yeah.
You want this? You're gonna get some extras.
Yo.
Anywho,
More than what you bargained for.
That's not that kind of chocolate.
they so like computer companies got in on it, and they were selling computers that they just were able to have a clock that went farther beyond the year 2000. Like they were calling them Y2K compliant machines.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Well, so
There were computing companies that made millions of dollars.
one of the funny parts though is that there were computers that they didn't crash or anything, but they did skip to like 20,000.
Cool. That's really cool.
So one of the, obviously people, they held their breath and they were scared of what was going to happen next. And it was New Year's, and a lot of people who had old computers, they were noticing that they were doing wiggy shit, like going to like 200,000, and like there were also ones that were just resetting back to their farthest original date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it came and went, and obviously nothing bad happened. But that was hilarious to me. It was kind of, because I was a little bit scared of it too, because I was a kid and like there was enough on the news that I would just watch it and be like, oh my god, the whole world is gonna end.
I really didn't understand what it was. I'm like, Y2K is about to happen. We're gonna blow up. Like I really, like I really
superpowers.
Like I really did think it was that like we were just gonna blow up. Like I had no other concept of like a world-ending thing when I was little besides we're gonna blow up.
Then flash forward, we had ourselves 2012, which was the end of the Mayan calendar. So like, so you look back at like some of the older generations, like there were people who were scared of being like blown up by nuclear weapons, like with the Cuban Missile Crisis and like the Cold War, and like, you know, even the world wars had major implications of a massive destructive change of life.
Well, yeah, there were battles that had casualties in the millions.
Exactly. And it was tanking the economy, and you could sit there and say, well, damn it, if the world's going to end, it's going to end in all-out war. It's going to end in nuclear annihilation. Our generation was scared of calendars pretty bad. Because you think about Y2K, it was calendars. You think about 2012, it was calendars.
If there was an ending measure of time of some kind, we were like, no.
Because like we have calendars. Like I have calendars. I get like one every year, and I don't use it, but I have it. It's there.
I just use the one on my phone.
And like
same.
But you get to the end of the calendar and you don't shit yourself. You just go buy a new calendar. Well, I've never bought a calendar. I have never purchased a calendar in my life.
What do you do? Just walk in, walk out?
You want to know what? I get them like
Simpson.
No, I get them at like churches and shit. And like
I get random like
somehow I always have a calendar though.
See, I don't have I randomly get a calendar that like I got as like consolation for something. Like somebody came into my job and was like, "Hey, here's a calendar." I'm like, "Oh shit, I got a calendar," and I never hang it up. I never look at it.
I get people that make calendars every year at work.
Yep.
I don't understand. Like we have phones, man, that have the calendar right on there and it's constantly updated.
Because there were people who didn't, before smartphones and shit, there were people who their calendar was at home.
Yeah.
And like,
or you had a pocket calendar.
That sounds disgusting.
Or pocket sand.
All right, Dale, calm down.
Shush.
So
we're going to steal a news van, Dale. It's the perfect crime. How will they ever report it?
It's amazing. An amazing series. I can't wait for the reboot. I want to see what they got going on. Coincidentally, they had a Y2K episode on King of the Hill.
They did. They did.
South Park.
Yep.
The
So
Simpsons.
2012 was like, that was anybody's guess. They said that the Mayan calendar predicted the end of the world, which is wrong. It was just a lie. It was hyperbole. It was just the end of the calendar. It was just, you can't make an infinite calendar.
Yeah. Which is because it's like, oh, you have these people that make these crazy long calendars. So like when it ends, it must mean something. It's like, no, they etched that shit in the stone.
Yeah, so they wanted it to last.
Yeah.
They didn't want to etch a new one every couple of months. Like, come on, dude, are you stupid? And then their communities were so small that everybody could look at the same calendar.
Yeah.
It was so small.
Like, that's so
They never made a new one. That's because they all got sick and died.
Yeah, they don't exist like
They also
that.
got murdered by the Aztecs.
Yeah, that is also a thing. Yeah.
Wait. Oh, yeah, they were Mayans. They were not Aztecs. Okay. Makes sense.
Because it's Mayan calendar, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the Aztec says that's my new calendar.
Damn it.
Ain't nobody checked with the Aztecs? I bet you they made an updated version.
No, I think they were too busy getting smallpox blankets from the conquistadors.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
That'll do it.
That was some cutthroat shit back in the day.
And also a really good segue into our next apocalypse that didn't actually happen.
COVID.
Yes.
Yep. We just got out of that shit.
Like,
Like it was yesterday. We could stop wearing masks.
It was like last month.
Yeah.
It was that the mask recommendation was lifted. There was mandates, and I don't think that it ever stopped. But then they started calling them recommendations.
So
But no, it was kind of wild. I panic bought a bunch of food.
I didn't panic at all. So here's the thing that
You gotta remember, I went into healthcare at the height of COVID.
Yes.
I do remember that. Now, the thing that I find funny about COVID, like the ending of COVID is so anticlimactic.
It really was.
Like they didn't even they don't have a cure. They don't have anything. They were just like, yeah, you can stop. Like you don't gotta wear the mask anymore. You didn't figure anything out.
It's one of those things where it's basically just any big virus like that. COVID, so it's kind of funny that we're talking about that because we also had West Nile, Zika.
Yep.
Those were
Fucking
two-
mad cow was another one. Didn't they have a thing about mad cow?
Yeah, but that was even before Y2K.
Yeah. And avian flu was another one. But I feel like it's kind of in the same vein right now, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like COVID is a thing that's like half of everybody doesn't even know if they fucking got it or not. So it's like it wasn't really that big of a deal, and it's kind of, I don't know, maybe rare. I have no idea at this
Well,
point.
the big thing is that it affects the same group of people that influenza does, and it has very similar symptoms. So how do you know if you have COVID or the fucking flu?
That's what I'm saying. It's
And
like
it's small children, the elderly, people with lung conditions,
Yeah.
same groups.
yeah. So it's like, I don't know. It was such a weird ending. And then
Toilet paper was crazy too.
yeah.
Dude,
I remember
they used
going
to have to fucking have managers stand with the pallets at work and hand out one pack to people.
Yep.
You know, that kind of pissed me off because there was times where I'm like,
toilet paper.
yeah, because I wasn't really like, I wasn't on the whole thing. I wasn't even really paying that much attention at the time.
Yeah, I was sleeping on it.
So I was like, I would go to the store to get some fucking toilet paper, and there's nothing. I'm like,
fresh out.
like I'm looking around because, like, you know, I was kind of late to the whole thing.
People like running.
Yeah, I'm like looking around, like, where is my fucking toilet? And it's just empty.
Yeah.
It's dry.
I remember there was
This is why we just need to get bidets. Then we don't have to worry about it.
bidets went crazy for it. There was a lot of bidets being sold.
Yeah.
Well, I should have done that.
Ass crack sprayed out.
Listen, that's nice.
Hey, if you're whistling Dixie down there, you're happy.
I guess maybe one day I'll get myself a bidet.
It's like this has convinced me.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
Think about it. You're like, I ain't got to worry about toilet paper as long as I have water.
Well, you got to hit like a little bit of the toilet paper to dry off, huh?
Air dry that shit.
Really? You just squat and just chill for a minute?
No, you just spread it.
Go stand in front of a fan.
Yeah.
But then I'm walking out with a pool of pants around my ankles to go into my hallway to catch a breeze from the fan. That sounds insane. I think the thing
Now
about
you know
it,
why the French are so free.
Yeah.
oh, it is French. Bidet is French.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Is it French for like butt spray? Is that
I have
racist
no idea
for me
what
to
it's
assume?
actually.
Am I wilding? Anywho, so that's
The bidet is the apocalypse on poop in your butthole.
right to bidet.
So I guess like that's the thing. Like every generation, obviously, I think we're kind of as a civilization, as a people, really obsessed with like how it's gonna end. And I think that's like my next point, my last point, and I will submit the floor to someone else. Right? Prepping has always been like a major thing.
Yeah, that's
Bidet actually means tiny horse.
tiny horse.
Because you used to have to straddle them. Like you were riding a tiny horse.
Jesus. Here's the thing. At this point,
That's a lot.
wow.
Hey.
So
I'm not sure if
that could also be
I'm not sure if I'm ready for that level of intimacy.
that could
or
be a
vulnerability.
Hugstar name
So
too.
modern bidets are technically integrated with actual toilet seats, which technically makes them washlets, not bidets.
You want to know what?
My world has changed.
I've worked in people's houses where they had bidets. I've been curious.
Have you?
No.
Oh, I was about to be like, did you borrow their bidet?
That'd be insane, I think. I was thinking about
Like,
it.
I took that shit
see,
for a
that's
for
the
a
thing.
test drive.
That's the thing about thought. As long as you don't do it,
Because it's insane. That's an insane thing to do.
like,
Is it?
hey guys, the water's on at this site, right? Yeah. I'm gonna need 10 minutes.
I'm going to see what this is about.
Yeah, yeah.
He's whistling Dixie
I
up
took-
there.
Yo. I took the wash lift for a drive, man.
So I've seen a. You guys have watched Doomsday Preppers, right?
Yeah, the badoos and badon'ts of beignets.
Don't put your beignet on my fucking bidet.
What the fuck are you guys on right now?
I gotta get that corn out somehow.
Oh boy! Imagine.
Oh, dude.
I don't know.
Here's the thing.
That's got to be a really reassuring feeling, right? To have the bidet snipe corn out of.
Oh my fucking.
If you get a water flosser, you can get it out of the other hole too.
Why are we?
You want to know what? About to revamp my fucking bathroom situation. I'm convinced. Right?
Then it just goes wild and it just fucking.
He's just got sprinklers.
Yeah.
You gotta get the rain shower head.
Oh fuck.
Put a drain in the middle of the floor so that I don't have to like worry about wet floor.
Yo, here's the thing. That's actually a fantastic idea.
You just spray your whole bathroom down.
God. Hold up.
No, that's amazing.
Yep.
Nah, that really is amazing.
Yeah, done deal.
Done
deal.
fucking deal. You heard? I gotta get back on track. Holy shit. So these Doomsday Preppers, right? I used to be wiling on that show. Like I used to watch it all the times. Sometimes I would take notes. Other times I'd be like really fucking sad about it because like there was this episode where this dude, he was chatting up a girl online and like she was from, I want to say Honduras or like Guadalajara or like some really south of the border type of situation. And
Well, to be fair, most countries are south of the U.S. border. Let's be realistic here. There's only one on our continent that's above us.
shit, you're right. Hold up.
You just been learned, boy.
I mean, I guess it depends on. I guess Greenland would count as two.
Did you know that
Even though
Iceland
that's
is actually green and Greenland? Fucking whatever. Go ahead.
Well, Greenland is actually west, north, south, and east of Iceland.
So this dude,
Damn it.
he went ahead and got her the ticket. She showed up. He was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to finally see you." She was like, yeah, this is great. He didn't even tell her that he was a prepper. And
Is that catfishing?
I think it's entrapment because what happened next will stay with me for the rest of my life.
Okay.
They were at his apartment, and then within it was like less than an hour. He was like, "We gotta bug out. This is who I am. I am a prepper, and we're gonna practice our survival."
Oh, fuck.
And he hopped her into the beat the hell ass hoopty with his bug out bag and a bug out bag that he made for her.
Okay, here's my problem, right? He was still using a gasoline powered vehicle, wasn't he?
Yep.
You can't do that if the world actually ends.
Well, he was prepping for an economic apocalypse, which is going to be so he was prepping for like hyperinflation and that people would start turning on each other because they can't afford regular goods,
He should have been prepping for his love life apocalypse.
which is exactly what happened because right, he took her out to the woods. He's got a little trailer in the woods.
That's a
Yeah.
kidnapping scenario.
So like it was crazy. Like there was no water, there was no electricity, there was no nothing, right? She, because the camera crew was there. So I bet you she probably felt a little safer. She
They were
was
probably
saying
like, we'll give you $5,000 if you go with this dude.
Yeah.
like we need this for ratings, and this is going to be the best TV ever. Because you want to know what? It sticks with me to this very day.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Tim has a shotgun.
Yeah. So she was talking to the camera crew, and she was like, "I came to this country so I wouldn't have to do this."
Oh, dude.
I knew that was coming.
At the end of the episode, the update was that he's single again because they talk to these guys. They do a little follow up after they've gone over their little prepping stuff. And he was like, yeah, she left. She went back home.
Anybody who was surprised just
is like that guy.
Yeah. You're either like you're probably in that bunker with.
So I think a lot of the people who do a lot of the really extensive prepping, they're obviously scared of what could happen, like terrible things, like any type of apocalypse would suck, and then you would be up shit's creek if you didn't prepare, if you weren't ready. But I think a lot of them kind of hope that it happens.
Yeah,
they hope that the proverbial reshuffle will happen and they get to be on the top of the deck because they're the ones that were buying weapons and learning how to collect rainwater and fashion it into their jungle bidet. So you all thought I was crazy, but now I'm on the top.
Until bang, and now I have all your supplies.
Yep, including your jungle bidet.
Well, that's but yeah, that's the perspective I wanted to bring. Was like we went through 3 of them, and then there are a lot of people who are still waiting for it. They're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I think people would love an apocalypse because it really does. I mean, it's every opportunity for the shittiest to become the best, and
also to stop paying mortgages and rent and car notes. And
this is sounding a bit personal.
Nah, dude.
Do we need to go look in your attic?
Like we go up there. What the fuck?
It's like all these food stores and shit.
So I've been prepping.
Listen, unless you have a beehive up there, because honey is the only truly infinitely lasting food.
And if you have a beehive up there, I'm out. Just so you know.
You just bring smoke up there. It's fine.
I don't like bees at all.
It's fine. Smoke calms them.
I'm not trying to calm them. I'm trying to kill them.
Then you don't have food.
Now I'm thinking about bees now.
You would die.
Yeah.
So,
Because you'd be like, huh, that's yellow and black, and it's a fucking yellow jacket.
Yep. That's not a honeybee at all. Ah! And then I'm dead. Anaphylaxis.
so I've brought with me 2 different types of theoretical apocalypse situations, and it's kind of one is based off of something that I recently watched, and another is based off of something that I kind of just came up with on my own and pulled out of my ass. So we'll start with the one that's kind of based in reality. So one of the things about even kind of harkening back to the idea of Y2K was not only is there a point where essentially computers stop going forward, not necessarily these days, we're pretty much future-proofing ourselves, but there is a point because all data is stored somewhere, right? So we have just banks and banks of supercomputers with storage to store basically all information that is currently going around in our infosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the worries and one of the constant battles with problem solvers, coders, all that type of things is to continually expand upon that so we don't run into a point where essentially the data starts purging itself. So one of the ideas of an apocalypse is we can't keep up with it, right? I'm tapping this bottle cap that I found for no reason. This is for
those
emphasis.
are from Lester's Fixin', so it's appropriate.
Yeah, they're blank, so you're absolutely right. So the idea is that you can't keep up with it, right? We start losing that battle, and then important data starts purging itself. So, we're talking about like, codes, like think about launch codes. We're talking about actual computer programming for, we'll say this fucking rocket that's supposed to fire off, or this weaponry that's supposed to, any types of, bank information, all types of very, very important information.
So it's interesting you bring up nuclear codes, because technically the nuclear codes aren't on a modern computer. Like, you cannot hack them because they aren't attached to a modern network. But the people that know how to code that are dying. And it's either you have to update them to possible codes that could be hacked, or you have to teach new people what is essentially a useless skill.
That's interesting.
It's yes, because it's not mechanical data, it's organic data that is at risk of causing that particular apocalypse.
That's kind of interesting. Okay, I did not know that, so that's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But the idea that you start losing this battle, and then you start losing all of this very, very important data, right? So now, essentially the structure that we are currently built on as a modern society would all fall apart.
Yeah.
And therefore, you would start hitting this point of, we're kind of like launching ourselves back, centuries of...
if they delete the hub, they'd be fine.
That would free up so much space on the internet.
That would start its own apocalypse.
Why did you take that away? I need that.
But like, the only thing still keeping Overwatch popular is now gone.
Oh, wow. That was... Stop. They're already dead.
So I've always...
Blizzard just got turned yellow.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Pissed all over that one. Fuck, that was crazy. I wasn't even ready for it.
They weren't either. My favorite part about that is that they tried issuing cease and desists, but it was too fast.
There's just too much.
They can't keep up.
Yeah.
It's their apocalypse. Like, bro, stop making Tracer get trains run on. No, dog.
No. Oh, no, dude.
Stop that shit, dude.
Gnarly. It's not, bro.
So, oh, jeez, I can't. So the fact that this is actually happening as we speak, it's essentially it's a race against our own evolution, which is kind of crazy. We've come to a point where we've created such a sophisticated and advanced learning system that it's kind of outrunning us, and that's a scary thought. Because I would like to think that there's people getting smarter, but then again, you look at generations on generations, and it seems like some of these things, you look at the TikTok generation, I don't think any of those motherfuckers are attempting to be smart. So, when the one of the major career paths right now is a fucking YouTuber, I don't.
No one's learning how the systems work.
Yeah, so
right, they're not actually. What you want to do is you want to be the guy that learns how to edit.
Yeah,
because then they're like, I don't know how to.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
And another one done. And another one done. Another one bites the dust.
Here's another funny part. So I read this earlier today. Evidently, AI art the generators have gotten so bad at stealing everything, they're starting to steal from each other. So it's just turning into its own incestuous AI generated art loop.
So they'll never get hands right.
No.
Damn.
Oh my gosh, it has locked itself out of hand.
That's crazy. I never thought about that. That's kind of nuts. Like
eventually the computer just breaks itself.
At a certain point, it's going to happen, and it's only going to be like the top ones that have some kind of filter or like get programmed better that are going to stick around.
You got to start feeding these AI generators like hands, just hands.
But then all of a sudden, you want to generate a face, and the face is just a
Horrifying.
It's just fucking
horrifying hand monster.
What the hell is his name? Shigaraki.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's Tomura Shigaraki. He's just got hands everywhere.
You weren't ready to catch these. Most people aren't.
Oh my gosh. So, and that's the kind of the problem with it.
That dude needs some water.
He really does.
some chapstick.
Yeah, exactly. You need some Carmax.
He needs Burt's Bees. He's well beyond Carmex.
Yeah, sure. Yep. That's true. The super medicated shit.
It's lubricated with Neosporin.
Oh my gosh. And when it comes to so it's kind of this interesting I guess self-fulfilling prophecy, as it were, because we have a lot of very smart people making sure that a lot of people stay very dumb. And that's sort of turning into like a seppuku of sorts, where you're just kind of gutting yourself. And, eventually, I mean, it's going to catch up.
The problem is there's nobody smart enough to cut your head off now.
Yeah. That's true.
Put your intestines on the ground and no one's gonna finish it off.
It's like
gotta bleed.
Yeah, you're just dragging your shit along.
So
how do?
So the
go away. I'm baiting. It's just fucking idiocracy.
Oh my gosh. So I mean, yeah, like there's also a lot of computerization. Like nothing is without a network connection.
Mm-hmm.
Like. What was it? It was earlier maybe it was last year where they didn't they hack like a fucking water? Somebody hacked like some type of crazy fucking, maybe it was a whole ass dam. It might've been a dam.
Yeah. Cause I know a lot of those things are becoming highly computerized, which is kind
a dam?
Damn.
You hacked my dam. Damn. No, and that's kind of like that right there is like the dangerous thing is like we're sitting here trying to automate and computerize and modernize everything, and you're making it kind of easy for.
I know. So truly, this is definitely an apocalyptic scenario, but you want to know how we stop this? Mega Man NT Warrior.
I fucking hate you.
You remember that show? Remember how everything was computerized and everything had a port?
Yeah. And then you just
like your fridge.
Yeah.
Your fridge had a USB port, which they do now,
so
and your oven does, and all that shit.
One of the big things I will say is that one of the scarier parts is that the only people stopping hackers is usually just other hackers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even like government agencies are keeping up, because the law, again, we have people who have been serving in Congress for longer than any of us have been alive.
They don't even know how computers work.
Right. They don't know what the fuck a computer is.
So you get a wild hair up your ass, and it's like you
I'm just going to destroy the world.
Dude, fuck that.
Yep.
So now here's my other this is the apocalypse I kind of just came up with, and it's a little mixture of something that was recently announced and shown off and Wall-E. So so have you seen the Apple Vision Pro?
Yes.
Yeah.
Them fucking ass ski goggles.
Yeah, the fucking almost $4,000 pair of ski goggles.
Honestly, if I see someone in public, I'm knocking them out and stealing those, and I'm just going to sell them. That's like $1,000. I don't have to sell them at Apple's price.
Yeah, because they won't really be paying attention to the world around them. Even though it's supposed to be integrated, they're going to be paying attention to the technology. Yeah, their hub feed. Exactly. It's like they're going to be sitting there like, just, $4,000, please. So this thing, obviously, we all know some amount of it, but with the whole VR craze, and now it's turning into an AR craze where we're trying to have augmented reality where everything is connected and integrated into this and that. So now, for example, even Facebook or Metaverse, whatever the fuck they're trying to call it these days.
Yes.
They also have their own kind of incentive for that. So now instead of, I'm going to get on my little fucking Skype with my whatever. I don't know if people even fucking use Skype anymore.
Old people use Skype.
But, fucking, what's the Apple one?
FaceTime.
Yeah, FaceTime.
You get on your fucking FaceTime or you get on your whatever your fucking Android equivalent is, and you go and video chat with somebody. No, instead now I'm going to get on my AR headset, even though there's nothing about it that looks cool. As soon as you put it on, people assume you're jacking off.
So here's the other thing, though, right? This is the same fucking company that charged $1,000 for a monitor stand that is just a fucking piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Apple.
I'm not an Apple fan, but so now I'm sitting here, I'm talking with my friend, and instead of my friend coming over and visiting me, I'm gonna talk to him over my fucking weird ass headset. Now it's fucking $4,000 right now, so not everyone's gonna have this.
I'd be hopping.
Oh yeah, show me those, sir. You're gonna need to get the fuck back. Case.
Like I forgot I was outside.
So
It's seamless.
So now here's the thing. With the evolution of this, I believe you're gonna have a lot more of a decline in any type of actual human interaction.
It's a social apocalypse.
Yeah. You're gonna have a decline in any type of ambition, because if my world is so shitty right now, I could go put on my fucking $4,000 headset and then I can live whatever I want to. My apartment could look shitty and fucking dilapidated, but I put
They're
this
gonna
shit on.
isekai all of us.
They're gonna isekai all of us, and everyone's gonna turn into weird, fucking antisocial, gross, like
Kirito weebs.
yeah.
You want to know what would be, even if I had a headset like that and then someone else had a headset and they were like, bro, why don't we just set up the virtual? I'd be like, nah, dude, I'm coming over to your house. Just to piss them off.
That's
like,
it. Yeah.
Come on, you don't want to meet me in like the meta space? I'm like, nah, dude.
No,
I'm gonna come to your house.
Yeah, I'm just gonna come over there. You better fucking clean your living room.
You better clean the jizz off your coffee table.
Yeah.
Get that bidet out and get scrubbing.
You get that. But that's the thing. We're gonna get weaker. We're gonna get dirtier. We're gonna get sicker. We're gonna get like just horrible, and then we're gonna turn into those fucking gelatinous people from Mali. I'm telling you.
That's the apocalypse.
Yeah, that's good, because I see it, man. In everything that's going on right now, they're trying to push people not actually doing anything and living the life that they want to live through a virtual world.
Yeah, like people are making a lot of money in like meta.
Yeah.
Being able to like sell like property in meta or something like that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like weird shit. Like it's.
Am I stupid? Could I just fucking do this? Start selling houses in meta?
It's like those. Remember that fucking
NFT trade?
I was thinking that one fucking game. You remember?
Yeah, like Second Life.
Yeah. Remember how people were selling fucking houses in Second Life for actual like?
I mean, people still do.
Yeah, fuck that though.
That's crazy.
Because now there's Bone Town.
There are people that will fucking just level up an account. People used to level up accounts on WoW and then sell them.
Yeah. But now it's just everything.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
there was a point to it, because if I tried to play World of Warcraft,
oh, I didn't say that part was bad.
I'd get my
I'm just
ass
saying that's where it
freaking
started.
waxed, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't even happen. Wouldn't even be able to do it. Just because it'd be hard for me. Not that I'm such an old dumb bastard that I can't figure it out, but I don't have enough time to do it. So if I wanted to, I'd probably fucking buy one.
Well, yeah, because it was literally they would grind up. They wouldn't even do any story. They would just grind up to like 80th level, sell the account, and move on. And they would do this like every day.
I wish I could cut my teeth on power leveling. I would fucking do that.
That's an old school thing to say, power leveling. That's what it was called, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at, man. That's my
I mean,
world.
I knew people that did this.
That's sick.
and they could get to level 80 in less than a day.
That's actually very impressive because I've played quite a few MMOs, man, and that's not easy.
like level 10, you're like, oh my gosh, am I level 10?
Yeah, dude. I was hyping because I would get there. I feel like I'd get there in like an hour or two, and then next thing you know, it'd just be like fucking 7 long days later. I'm still at level fucking 11.
Yeah, like playing for a really long time on the Southeast Asian ones, like Perfect World and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which apparently is releasing a new one. There's a new Perfect World coming out.
Huh.
Crazy.
That's weird. Now,
but I kind of dig it. Like
he's at it again.
The world could end, and it could end and not really end. Because like I think there are still like lots of people who don't have $4,000 to spend on a fucking crazy headset, and you know, work will still get done. Like people will still be doing things, but there'll be huge swaths of people who will want to be that virtual world denizen. I kind of think that there's gonna be a thing that'll have to happen. That's gonna.
Apple needs to die.
I completely agree. So that's my idea of the potential apocalypse, and shit's gonna get cheaper. That's the other thing. Like, just like a laptop used to be fucking quote unquote cutting edge, and now you can get one for like $500.
Well, here's the thing, right? Flat screen TVs used to cost for a 32-inch was like $5,000.
Yeah,
and it was LCD.
Yeah, nowadays you can get a fucking 60-inch, and it's like a smart 4K for like fucking $800.
They're cheaper than that.
Yep.
Yeah, so
they're like $5.
like the Hisense ones and all that. I'm thinking like
Hisense will smack an image's ass though nowadays.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising.
I mean,
I'll fuck with Hisense.
75-inch Samsung you sell at work is fucking $800.
That's
75 inches. Interesting. And suddenly Crimson spends money he shouldn't be spending.
My hub is so clear now. I don't need the goggles. I leave home.
So now I'm ready for some factual apocalypse.
So to start at the top of my list, humanity itself. There's a couple prevailing theories. One of them is just we're going to consume all the resources on Earth, and because we haven't spread out in the solar system, as Thomas Hobbes once said, when the world is overcharged with inhabitants, war provideth for every man by victory or death.
That's a fuck. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not like wise enough to have a cool way of saying this, but like that's a fucking sweet saying.
Well, so Thomas Hobbes is funny because, right, you guys know René Descartes, all those famous philosophers and shit.
Yeah.
Hobbes was the opposite. He was mankind is inherently evil and therefore needs government to keep it from committing evil.
That's an interesting.
not sure if I agree with that.
I do.
I don't.
I completely do. So here's the thing. I just a quick aside before I let you continue. I very much believe that I'm not a fan of police in a general sense, but the reason why people don't do fucked up shit is out of fear of getting in trouble. I've seen that so much in just recent times.
Okay, yeah.
So I do believe that if it was like the Wild fucking West and it was like, you do you, I do me, may the best man win.
Yeah, everyone would be putting people.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, right? Is that technically speaking, just as living organisms that require things were sort of inherently selfish.
Yeah. Yep. And that's exactly what it is.
I dig it.
And you know what it is? The horrible people would do horrible things, which would make the good people have to do horrible things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that's it. That's all. So I do inherently agree with that.
But so that's one of the very potential ones. One of the other ones I like that I've seen is that obviously we're starting to experiment with cybernetics and shit, right? There is a theory that humanity will evolve itself into extinction. We will become so infused with machine parts and shit that we can't separate it out.
I mean, that's like cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Right there. Like I would I mean, I would
I gotta
live
tell
that
you.
shit up, though.
I gotta tell
I'm
you,
excited for that DLC.
I think
I'm going to download it when it comes out.
I think that you can subvert that type of thing, right? Like, sure, you're overly cybernetic, but just keep your balls right, and then you can still make like regular humans.
The problem is that
So here, that's the new thing. It'll be our first T-shirt. It's like keep your balls right.
that's only a part of the equation.
This
I'm not gonna say the other part.
yeah.
Because keep your balls right it sounds okay. You can use that for a lot of different scenarios. You can't use the other one in any other scenario.
I feel like we get canceled.
Oh yeah. We're skirting right at that line.
Like just thinking about it.
We're staring at that line like, no, reverse.
Like it's right there. It's just like this weird chaotic wind. Just
You're not authorized to access this level.
Yep. Turn it around.
It's like that fucking high radiation zone in Fallout. Just fucking,
Yeah.
that's what that
So the next one is life on Earth. Right now, life on Earth is sort of intrinsically tied to humanity. Because here's the thing, right? The only reason we have problems with species like cockroaches, mice, things like that is because they feast on our garbage. If humanity is gone, cockroaches aren't really the species that inherits the Earth. It's ants.
Right, because ants can move and shake in other ways other than eating trash.
Right. Ants don't give a shit about humanity. They'll build their homes in our home, but it's no different to them than building it in a tree underground.
Right.
It's just another place.
This is true. So
Flies are okay because shit still dies and
There's still garbage. There's still poop.
yep.
it'd be the ant apocalypse.
No, it'd be the ant come up.
Yeah, it would be. Actually, that's true. The ant apocalypse would be available.
Because you think about ants, there's no other animal that really fucks with ants other than anteaters.
Yeah.
So
and other ants.
So if you just imagine like Flick,
We be
from Bug's
busting up
Life.
like we be busting up like anthills just for nothing.
Yeah, we're pieces of shit. Technically.
Oh, termites will also fuck with ants.
Oh, okay. Different type of shake up there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it would be the battle of termites versus ants, but ants have staying power.
Yeah, termites could fly though.
That was one of the coolest fucking fight scenes in that movie, Ants, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
They go to war, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our next one on the list is our home planet itself. The rock will survive whatever humanity does to it. Even if every nuclear weapon on the planet went off at once,
Yep.
rock is still there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to get wiped out when the sun goes boom, which is how the solar system dies.
So there are a lot of this was one of the things I saw on Facebook real recently. They said if the sun exploded, you wouldn't know until like 8 minutes after.
That's because it takes light 8 minutes to reach Earth from the sun.
That's
93 million miles divided by 186,000.
So theoretically, we would like it would happen, and then we would like, if we looked, it would be like, yeah, right. So it'd be like fucking Dragon Ball Z when they blast people out of existence, and it's like, that'd be us.
It'd be kind of a sick way to go.
Well,
Yeah,
so
yeah, it would be
you know,
kinda cool.
one of the most interesting things that I've ever studied about like all the astronomy and shit I've studied is that they found a star system where the sun had exploded already and new planets had formed around the white dwarf that was left over. They're completely and utterly uninhabitable by us, but basically matter from a star exploded and then new planets formed from that matter.
See, that's the one thing that like it would have to be for the world to end. It would have to be a crazy thing.
Well, one of the apocalypses that could also happen for our home planet here is the star Betelgeuse is a star theorized that is going to be a gamma ray burster. And essentially the way it lines up, at certain points it's aimed right at us, and gamma ray bursters are essentially the most powerful of supernovae.
But they're also responsible for The Incredible Hulk.
No, they're not.
No, gamma rays are responsible for the Hulk, not a gamma ray burster.
Fair.
But that, because Beetlejuice is a super red giant. It's fucking huge.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to fuck with that. You know what I'm saying?
But to close out my list, the universe itself has two primary theories of its end. There's the Big Rip and the Big Crunch.
Okay, both of which sound horrifying.
So the Big Crunch is that instead of everything continuously, infinitely expanding faster and faster as we're observing it now, it all just comes back to a single point.
Rubber band.
The Big Crunch.
Oh, that makes sense.
The Big Rip is that it's the exact opposite. Things keep getting further and further apart until even the covalence bonds of atoms come apart, so everything just splits into matterous soup. Existentialism, baby.
That's a lot.
Holy shit. I mean, that would be insane. Like we're just like a fucking like just ever fucking tearing potentially fucking.
I mean, that's what the passage of time is. Just think about it. Just you're walking down the street one day, your hand just falls off and floats away. And you're like, and then your arm does it.
Oh my lord, dude.
And then you're watching that come apart.
And then you look around and everything else is unraveling.
Dude, that would be terrifying.
Yeah, the Big Rip is way scarier than the Big Crunch.
Yeah, I would, because I feel like the Big Crunch would just be quick.
Well, it's the idea. So the universe is nearly, what we can observe is about 14 trillion years old. There's a theory that there's stuff beyond that, but we don't have tools powerful enough to see it. But like,
I'm sure we'll make it.
The
Eventually.
James Webb Telescope, they're seeing galaxies where they thought there weren't any. So we're seeing galaxies very close to that border of like the 13.8 trillion years that actually is. It's insane. It's fascinating stuff.
You know,
but basically it would be, so let's say the Big Crunch were to start today. It would still take roughly 14 trillion years for it to end.
Here's the thing. I think if either of those like universe ending situations happened, I think humans would be dead long before that.
Oh, I agree. There's actually a clock that measures roughly based on human consumption and population growth how long we have left before we just go extinct from our own thing. And it's about 9,000 years.
Hey, at least I'll be dead.
Right now.
All my immediate family will be gone by then. You know what? Whatever. It is what it is.
But you know, there's a lot of free radicals to that. There are.
Well, like I said, that's an equation based on current population growth, consumption, trash. Right. If we start, improving our energy sources, things like that, that number goes up because now we're not shitting out chemicals that kill people.
Yep. The other thing is like there are planets in our solar system that are very similar to Earth, like in almost every way.
True.
And, right? Space travel is mirroring that possibility.
Well, the funny part is that technically with modern technology, if we were to start, we could start terraforming Mars. It would take a while, but if we started seeding Mars now, we could terraform it to be a habitable planet.
Do you know what would absolutely suck about that? Is that you would get like all your fucking Bezoses and your fucking,
Well, Musk is trying to do that. He's trying to start a Martian colony.
See, that's all well and good, but all these rich motherfuckers would be like, "Hey, we're getting out of this shit. This is just crumbling," and then everybody who's broke would just be like, "Fuck," because they would really only need to bring like you said 1,000 or some shit like that
for a viable genetic population. The problem is that if they're wealthy enough to do that, each one of them is going to want their own fucking little harem.
Yep.
That's true.
But here's the thing. Do they know how to build a toilet? Do they know how to plant food?
Yeah.
Because this is the thing, right? Warren Buffett himself has said this, and he's still one of the richest guys. The only reason Warren Buffett is rich is because he came up in a time when investing allowed him to be rich. Had he been born a century earlier, he would have been a fucking piece of shit. And he himself has said that.
Yep.
It's a very smart man. That's crazy. Because I never really thought about it like that.
They're only rich because of circumstance.
Huh.
If Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, if they were born a century ago, there's a very good chance they would have died in World War I.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
in the trenches.
Huh. Okay. So, I mean, fair argument. So I guess
They've still got to bring people with them. Because it's one thing, I'll give you they're smart, but here's the thing. You can have all the intelligence in the world. If you don't know which way to hold a fucking hammer,
Yep.
suddenly Jimmy the inbred carpenter is looking mighty fucking smart.
And like,
I love that. Jimmy the inbred carpenter.
and I still maintain that like these people who are, like Bezos is not a smart guy.
Right.
Elon Musk, I really don't think he's smart. It's really weird.
He is and he isn't.
He's I think he's special. I think he does one or two things really well. I think he's a fucking savant, like an idiot savant, like a fucking moron in every other conceivable like fashion, but is kind of smart when it comes to like technology and
that's what allowed him to become where he's at. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If you're the guy, you don't necessarily have to know how to build the machine. You got to find the guy who can build the machine. That's the thing, right? Edison didn't invent all that shit. He just happened to own the patent office.
That's the thing. I will say that Musk he's a smart guy, but he just parlays, man. Like, yeah, he don't have to do all that shit on his own, and he knows that. And it's like, that's why you buy Twitter. Like, he don't give a shit about doing anything with Twitter personally. He's just, there's people who can run that Twitter, and then he can do what he wants to do using Twitter.
Yeah.
Everything just becomes a tool to do what he wants to do. And I now also think about it like this, now that I got my, broke guy cynicism out of the way, that if we're going to inhabit a new planet, there's also going to be like kind of like a chaotic shuffle for new leadership. And you would not really be able to be a viable leader if you were so cold-hearted as to leave everybody to die.
That's the thing, right? Very few humans can truly exist on their own. Because here's the thing, right? Even if you're a farmer that lives alone, you still have animals. That's still a symbiotic relationship with another creature.
Yep. You still buying and selling from people.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
but here's the thing though. New apocalypse.
Rich people?
No, I was gonna say you can terraform Mars. That's all well and good. But we haven't figured out the rogues gallery of diseases here. And what's going to happen is people are going to get Mars sick.
The strong will live, the weak will die.
But you're going to get like the disease where you're like, you explode and you become like.
I will say for that to happen, they have to actually find microbial shit on Mars. They haven't.
This shit lives in rocks, bro.
They've been digging through rocks. Curiosity, Phoenix, all those rover missions.
They got to stop bringing shit back here, by the way.
Here's
Who do we email about that? Because sometimes...
NASA, the ESA.
Because sometimes, like...
Putin, probably, but he's too busy invading Ukraine and needs to be shot in the dick.
Yes.
Or here's another potential apocalypse. We go into space, finally, and then we find some either some Twi'leks or some Asari. And
you want the Kirk up?
Oh
yeah.
Oh,
humans.
No more humans.
Humans are gone.
All hybrids.
Yeah.
You know that actually happens in Doctor Who.
Oh, that's sick.
Like they go to the end of Earth when the sun explodes, and there's one human left, and she's just skin flaps, and they have to spritz water on her.
Wow.
You know what? Doctor Who told the future.
And with that, we have reached the end. Not of the world, but just of this episode. We are Critical Hit. Find us wherever you find your favorite podcast.
Which is us.
Yes.
Yes.
Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeart, Pandora. I did that out of order. And now on YouTube at CritTube. We are on Twitter at CritHitOfficial, always with a K. Ooh, thanks for that.
Minty.
New episodes every Friday. Until then,
Get a bidet. It'll save you on toilet paper.